Well, folks, I did a thing. I did a thing. I broke down and got me a new rifle. This is a Savage 110 VSX Hunter. 6.5 Creedmoor. All the rage. I finally broke down and got one. Has a threaded barrel. I think it's a 4+1 magazine, detachable magazine. Got that Accu trigger. I was able to yesterday adjust that trigger down to its lightest setting. I've got a Vortex 4-12 by 40 Diamondback scope on there, really clear scope. I've bore sighted it. I've got my target way out there at 100 yards. Well, I guess we're gonna find out how good of a bore sighter I am. I should have set it up closer to take my first shot, but let's just see, out of curiosity, where it might land. I'm gonna squeeze off the first one out of the old Savage 110 6.5 Creedmoor. I actually have 3 different cartridges that I'm going to try today. The first of which is a Hornady American Whitetail. That's 129 grain interlock. I've got some Winchester Deer Season XP in 125 grain. And I've got one a little bit more expensive. This is the Federal Premium Terminal Ascent. This comes in 130 grains. I think I'm going to start out. I've got a couple of boxes of this, actually, this American Whitetail. This was on sale at Bass Pro Shops for $25 a box. So I got a couple of boxes of that. That's what we're going to start out with. Boy, really mild recoiling. That's cool. So I was about 4.5 inches to the left, so I've moved it to the right. I'm gonna go 4.5 MOA. So that's what, 18 clicks. Let's see where round number 2 lands. Well, I apologize in advance. I'm gonna be sweating like a, yeah, I'm gonna be sweating. Just a smidge high. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put 3 shot group right here and see what happens. Well, here's what happened with those 4 shots. That was the first one. I made one adjustment to my scope. I went 18 clicks. I'm going to take it back to the left, at least 2 clicks. But I shot there, then I shot there, then I shot there again. So 2 in the same hole, and then there. That's interesting. Let's go ahead. I'm not going to adjust my scope just yet. Let's just go ahead and try another one of these rounds. Next, we're going to be trying this Winchester Deer Season XP. That's 125 grain ballistic. It's got that big ballistic tip on it. You've seen me shoot these before in my 270 and 270 short magnum, I believe. Hey, while I continue to let my barrel cool down, I want to show you this ear protection I've got in today. You've seen me wearing the Walker's game ears, and they're great. But a lot of times when I get down on my rifle, the stock pushes on that big thing on my ear. So I wanted to go with something a little bit different, and these are from a company called Decibels. They're not sponsoring this video or anything. I'm just telling you how neat I think these are. They're custom molded. You buy them and then you microwave some water in a cup and put it down in there. You put the tip on, you put the back on, and then once you have let it sit in that water for about 5 minutes, you take it out, let it cool just a little bit, then put it in your ear and you just start to mold it. And any of you are singers out there that's ever used molded in-ear monitors, it's just a perfect sealed off, completely sealed off fit. This is the really neat. I'm gonna like these, I can tell, and they're doing a great job. And they come with some foam tips as well that even protect a little bit better than these silicone tips. But these are doing fine out here for me right now. Decibels, Decibulz. I got them on Amazon. Where else? So I've probably done more shooting this year than I've done in the previous 5, I don't know, maybe 10 years combined. I've kind of really gotten into shooting. Yes, it's extremely expensive, but it's so fun. And I know you folks enjoy shooting videos. In so doing, I'm really working on becoming a better shooter. If you post a shooting video, I promise you're going to get some comments, whether solicited or not, about what you're doing wrong. A few people tell you what you're doing right, but everybody wants to point out what you're doing wrong. Hey, I am soliciting that criticism today. I know in some of my prior videos that I've done a lot of things on my end that affected my groups. I've learned that recoil control is a big part of precision shooting. I don't understand that when a bullet's leaving the barrel at 3,000 feet per second. I don't understand how the gun can recoil before that bullet is long gone, but they say that it actually does. Of course, I know barrel harmonics. You don't want to touch anything. Let anything that touch the barrel. You want a free-floating barrel like this. Now, this is an inexpensive rig. Well, I say inexpensive. It was nearly $900 before the sale. Bass Pro Shops ran their big annual fall classic, and this thing was marked down to $6 something. I signed up as a club member and got 20 bonus points for doing that. And then the other day they ran an extra 10% off of everything in the store, sale prices, sale items included, for club members. And the gun had a $75 rebate going with it. So I've got less than $500 in this entire package. You know, that's a lot of money to me. I want to get, whether I pay the full retail price or whether I've got a great sale deal like this, you know, I want to get what I paid for. This gun, the stock of it, the barrel is not centered in the stock. It seems to be a pretty rigid stock. It is not aluminum bedded or anything like that, but it's not rubbery and very bendy. But down here at the very end, you can see there's a lot of flex in that, and the gun is kind of resting on one edge of the stock down there. It's still, you can still slide a piece of paper or a dollar bill down it all the way back here. But I don't know if that could be affecting anything or not. When I picked the gun up, I said, hey, do you have one that doesn't do that? And the lady working there, you think they would be knowledgeable about guns if you're selling guns, but she said, is it not supposed to do that? And I said, no, it's not supposed to do that. And she said she went and got a supervisor, and they looked, and everyone that they unboxed was touching on one side or the other. So maybe that's just a product of a sub $1,000 rifle and scope combo. This scope's very good, by the way. I'm extremely impressed with it. But I don't know if we have problems. I'm not anticipating problems, but if we have problems, that may be part of it. And there may be a way that I can permanently adjust that mold, that stock. I'd be hesitant to put a heat gun on it or something like that, but maybe I can force some constant pressure and leave it that way for a few weeks or months or whatever, and get it to where it's kind of centered up. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's just keep going here and see how the groups go. All right, barrel has cooled down significantly. I'm gonna go ahead and send 3 now of this Winchester XP deer season. Oh, and as I said, I'm soliciting comments, anything you see me doing. I know just as of this week of researching, I've read to try to keep this back bag right under where your jawline is touching the stock. Of course, you want to touch the gun as least as possible in as few places. You don't want to hold your scope. You don't want to hold out here to be steady. You certainly don't want to touch the barrel. I know those things. You want the recoil to be coming straight back. I'm still having a little bit of a problem managing the recoil and keeping the target in my sight picture after the gun goes off. I don't really know why, other than the fact that I'm not really holding the gun that tight. I don't want to be squeezing on it and torquing it in any way. And also, I'm just holding on with these 3 fingers right here very gently, and keeping my thumb over here and just squeezing this trigger straight back with my fingertip. So I'm trying to do all the things that I know to do to be as steady as possible. And looking through the scope down there, it's absolutely rock steady on that bullseye when I'm squeezing the trigger. So, but again, I solicit any constructive criticism or advice that you have for me based on what you are seeing here. All right, here we go, Winchester XPs. It's kind of the same vicinity as those, well, some of those others were hitting. They kind of hit everywhere, but high and to the right. Uh-oh, those 2 are really, really close. Can we get a third one? Can we get a third one? I've said this before. Y'all cross your fingers. Trying to remain consistent here. A group, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean a group. One of the best I've ever shot in any rifle. Sub half MOA. That makes me happy. I've had that happen twice with these Winchester XPs, by the way, in different calibers. This is an extremely inherently accurate cartridge. Let's go check it out. As we say in the South, that dog will hunt. That dog will hunt. I'm going to measure that when I get back home, but I'm going to guess about 0.4, 0.5 inches on there, which is a sub 1/2 MOA. That's the Winchester Deer Season XP 130 grains. Whoo! Excited about that. Let's try these Federal Ascents, or Terminal Ascents. All right, I got a cool barrel. I got 3 of these Federal Terminal Ascent cartridges loaded up. They definitely win the battle for prettiest. A nickel plated case and a nickel plated bullet. Got that dark navy blue tip on there. Cool looking deal. Of course, that Federal trademark blue sealer of some sort around the primer. Always thought that was neat. All right, these are 130 grain. 130 grain. Still hitting consistently with those others, a little high to the right. So I'll eventually adjust that. Oh, even close. Had high hopes for that. Oh well. That was close to the other one. Go ahead and shoot 4. Maybe I had a, maybe it was something on my end. I don't know. Didn't. Boy, that's awful tight in that chamber. That may have something to do with it. Well, that one's in there pretty good. Let's do 5. Let's do a 5-shot group on these. Barrel's warm, but it's not hot. If we get 4 in there together, I'll call that, what, second one? An outlier. Blame it on the shooter. Close to the second one. Okay, so I believe we got our answer there. I was hoping this rifle wasn't going to be real picky. It looks like it might be a little picky. The next thing I'm going to do, speaking on shooting, I'm going to abandon the bench rest, if you will, and go back to this lead sled. I've read a lot of things that say you don't get near as precise as shooting with the lead sled as you do a bag and a wrist. I don't know, steady gun locked onto the center of that bullseye. Looks like it'd be apples and apples, but not according to the experts. Experts are supposed to know, right? Yeah, that's just not impressive at all. That was shot number 1. Shot number 2 was right there, and that was shot number 3. Shot number 4. Shot number 5. No way, no other way around that. No weird outlier or anything. It's just not a great group. That's the Federal Terminal Ascent, which is a really, really good bullet. I had high hopes for that. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go back with these Hornadies, give them another go. You know, that was the first 3 or 4 rounds that I had shot out of this gun. Of course, it's far from being broken in, but maybe it's a little bit better now that we've been shooting it a little while. Barrel's cooled down. All right, let's see what happens in the old lead sled here. Let's give it a shot. No pun intended. I did make a slight adjustment to the scope, and that one is actually touching the bullseye as a result. It's going to be very interesting. I didn't feel as good about that hold. Let's go ahead and make this a 5-shot group. Pretty good group. That's the second time this ejector has not caught that round and ejected it. Or maybe it's just letting it go for some reason. Do it fast like that. Huh. That's interesting. Anybody out there care to explain that? Don't know. Let's see what we got. Well, I had 4 in a line right there that were nearly touching. And then that one, that's about an inch group if I were guessing. Maybe slightly over. But hey, that's pretty good. That's a far cry better than that first group attempt I made with the Hornadies. So now let's just go back to the Winchesters and see if we can replicate or at least get close to what we did earlier. You can't imagine how hard that is to do, but we're going to try it. All right, lid slid with the back to the Winchester XPs. See if we can get another tight group of these. Here we go. Shot one, went a little to the right. Again with the, oh, that's the Winchester. Not great. Well, you see three or four of them are. We got one out there a little bit. It's gonna put it a little over an inch. So let's try those Federals again. All right, gonna give the Federal terminal a sense. Another go at it. I didn't bring any more targets with me. I've just made me a tape target. We're gonna try to shoot right there. All right, this will be test number 2 with the Federal Premium Terminal Ascent 130 grain. Boy, I had high hopes for those. That's an expensive box of ammo too. Let's see what happens. It's closer in, probably an inch away from the first one. That's about an inch, maybe a little over. Again, nothing to win a match with, but ample to kill a deer with, that's for sure. Well, false alarm, just for the sake of consistency. I shot 5 in that first group, so I'm gonna go ahead and shoot 5 with this one. Half this box gone. I'll save all my brass. Any of you reloaders out there want to buy it, holler at me. I need to start reloading again. If I had a place to do it, I probably would. Alright, let's see if these 5 will beat those first 5. Well, if it did, it didn't by much. Well, sorry folks, I didn't have my camera rolling on that one. If it's better than the first 5, it's not much better. You got that much on the first 5 and that much on those. I'd say they're about the same. We'll measure all these when we get home, but that was the Federal Ascent right there, 130 grain. And here I am back at the office. That was that first bore sight shot. This is at 100 yards. This is with the Hornady American Whitetail. That first group, these were the first 5 shots out of the gun. That's a 4-shot group, just under 2 inches. And then we had the Winchester Deer Season XP ammo and shot a 3-shot group of .375, which unfortunately seems to be a bit of an anomaly. We came out next with the Federal Terminal Ascent. It shot a 2.08 inch group. Made an adjustment to the scope, came back with the Hornady and American Whitetail and shot a 1.12 group right at MOA. And then we shot the Winchester again in a 5-shot group and got 1.18. And then I came back with the Federal one more time, made me a makeshift target and got 1.98 on the second round. So of the Federal, 2.08 and 1.98, you know, that's an average of 2 inches about any way you slice it. So, hey guys and gals, here I am in my office. It's been a couple of days since I was out there on the range with that new Savage 110 VSX and Vortex Diamondback scope combo 6.5 Creedmoor. I got home and cycling rounds in and out with that action, and about every 3rd or 4th one will not stovepipe, but it gets caught. It gets caught on something like just less than an inch from actually entering the chamber. You just let a little tension off the bolt and it'll fall back in line and you can push it on closed. But you think that's not really that big a deal, is it? Well, yeah, it is. If you were in the field and you needed a fast repeat shot, it happens. If you had a big deer out there and you wasn't sure about your hit and you had an opportunity to take another shot at it, and that thing jammed up like that, it'd be really bad. So I contacted Bass Pro. I just wanted to take the gun back and swap it out for one that functions like it should. Now, in addition to the feeding issues, I also discovered out there on the range that it would not always eject the shells. It would pull them out. They wouldn't get hung in the chamber. It would pull them out, but it wouldn't throw them. They would just be sitting there on top of the magazine. And again, that'd be a big issue if you were needing a follow-up shot, because you'd be trying to ram another shell in there and the other one hadn't even come out yet. There's major problems with that gun, with the chamber and the feeding. On top of that, you saw I just could not get the type of groups that I expect out of a modern rifle. And you say, well, yeah, that's not a very expensive gun. Look, I want the gun that I bought to function as it should. I knew Bass Pro had a no return policy on their firearms. Now, I understand that to be if you've made an impulse purchase and regret it and you decide you want to take it back, they won't do that. Or you decide you want a different one, I can understand why they wouldn't do that. But I can't understand why that would apply even to faulty firearms that they sell. I reached out to Bass Pro through email on their corporate site and was told just that. They don't have a return. They have a zero return policy on firearms, and I would need to contact Savage, the manufacturer. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. I called Bass Pro in Leeds, Alabama, the location where I picked the gun up, and was told the exact thing. Explained the situation to them, told them how long I'd been a customer. Hey, I've been a customer of Bass Pro and Cabela's since I was a teenager. Pretty sure before I even had a checking account. When you had to mark what you wanted on the order form inside the big catalog they sent out, and send that in with a money order and wait on it to come back to you. That's how long I've been ordering from Bass Pro shops and Cabela's, over 35 years. I was really disappointed, and I got a little bit mad when I talked to an associate at the gun counter, and he told me a couple of lies. He said the reason they don't do firearms return is that it was illegal, against the law. I knew that was not the case, and then I researched it later just to make sure that my thinking was straight. It's not illegal to return a firearm, period. Absolutely a lie. He even suggested that I carry the gun to a gunsmith. Take the gun to a gunsmith, spend more of my money trying to get fixed a faulty product that they sold me. Folks, that is bad, bad business. I have since contacted Savage. They sent me a shipping label, and I have sent the gun back to Savage via FedEx. And I requested that the gun be replaced because of all these issues that I've had with it. I packaged it all back up just like I got it, scope and all the accessories that came with it. Put the trigger lock back on it, took the bolt out, packaged it all out just exactly like I took it out of the box. So I'm hoping and praying that they just replace the firearm versus monkeying with that one and sending it back to me and me not know really what they did, or possibly the issue not being fixed. I'm told that that's not a very routine thing for those rifles. It's supposed to be pretty good guns, which is why I was really disappointed. But I was a lot more disappointed in Bass Pro. And I've been blasting them a little bit on social media about it. In fact, I went on their website, and you can't post. I went on their Facebook page, and you can't post on their page, but I commented under one of their advertisements. I said, well, just beware and know if you buy a gun from them that is faulty, they won't return it. And I've probably made my last firearms purchase at Bass Pro. And I actually got a comment back from them and said that they were sorry to hear that and send them a private message about my issue, which I did. And surprisingly, I got a response from that. I don't know what's going to come of it, but they promised that someone higher up would be in touch with me in 24 to 48 hours. So I'll try to update you on how that goes. But I just wanted to put this little update in there. Also show you in the video the biggest problem that gun had was with feeding, which you can see right here. Hey, hopefully this will all get resolved. I'll get a new gun back from Savage, or else that one repaired correctly. We'll see. And if so, I'll do a follow-up video, and I'll give Savage credit where it's due or not. And I'll also update you on what I hear back from Bass Pro. I don't have very big hopes about that, other than a little bit of an explanation and an apology maybe, but we'll see. Hey, stay tuned for that. As always, appreciate you tuning in here on Hook, Line, and Singer. We shoot straight, just and open and transparent, let you know what's going on. So hopefully this will be informative to some of you. Word to the wise, be a little bit cautious buying a gun from Bass Pro Shops. Hey, if they make this right in some way or another, I'll offer another video and give them full credit. So stay tuned for that and see what happens. I'll be posting here as every week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Good Lord willing. Hey, God bless y'all. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.